We Today we are going to talk about profit and loss, which is one of the very important topics which comes in your way. And not only that, but many a times you might have seen problems based on profit and loss. But today we are going to do something different from what we have done before. We'll be solving limited problems. Barely 13 or 14 problems would be there, but we'll be finding the way out to solve that kind of problems. Okay, so let us not wait for more and let us just start with what profit and loss is. And here it is. Okay, so we are good to start. All right then. So, profit and loss. Concepts and terminologies, let us get back to time and let's see what all profit and loss terms related with and what exactly is the concept. Profit and loss are the terms uh, uh, which are related to any kind of business or any kind of trade or share market, or wherein you are selling something to somebody, wherein you are making a transaction, that has to be monetary transaction. And whenever, I mean, no matter what you're buying and what you're selling, but whatever it would be based on profit and loss. It would be based on the cost price on which you have bought the item, or any other thing. And selling price, that is the price at which you are selling some article or an item, that would be deciding your whether you had a profit or whether you had a loss. So that would be there, and we are going to talk about all of them. Cost price, as in I was telling you, at the price at which you have bought some article or any item. So that would be the cost price of that article, and selling price would be something on which the article is sold, at which the article is sold, or yeah, basically sold. Okay. Now, no matter whomsoever is selling it, but then that person will be uh, incurring a loss or a profit. If the person is incurring a loss, then what does that mean? So, if the cost price is greater than selling price, then it would be a loss. And wherein, if the selling price is greater than a cost price, then it would obviously be a profit. All right. So, let's just move a little more ahead. There are something called overhead charges. What are overhead charges? Overhead charges are such charges which are your extra expenditures on the goods or articles which you're buying from the actual cost price. Okay, that could be the taxes, wherein we used to pay the taxes or charges for something, or maybe rent or salary of employees, and etc. Okay, so that could be overhead charges. So there is a note to overhead charges, and the note says if overhead charges are not specified in the question, then they are not considered. If at all overhead charges are mentioned in the question, then only will be considering them. And if at all those are not mentioned, so police do not consider it. Okay. Now, other terminology is profit, wherein I was telling you that selling price is greater than cost price, then you will be incurring a profit. So uh, that's nothing but the profit, or you may call it as gain as well. Loss. Loss is something wherein your cost price is greater than selling price. That means the article is sold at a price lower than its cost price, then loss is incurred. Okay, now let's move a little more ahead with the basic terminologies or basic formulas related to profit and loss. Profit is equal to SP minus CP, selling price minus cost price, just to know how much profit you have earned. So SP minus CP will be the formula. Loss is having a formula which is CP minus SP. Here, profit percent is equal to profit by cost price into 100%. Now, one more thing. Wherein I am onto this formula, I must tell you one more thing, that profit or loss, be it a profit or be it a loss, you'll always calculate it on the cost price. You'll never ever calculate it on the selling price. So, you know, until and unless the question says that you have to calculate the selling price instead of cost price, then only you'll be going for selling price. But if at all it is not mentioned, you will always consider cost price at the place of finding the profit or a loss. Okay. Now, loss percentage formula would be loss percent is equal to loss by cost price into 100%. Now, selling price. The formula for selling price, if at all it is not mentioned in the question, and the question is having profit percentage mentioned, cost price mentioned, but you have to find the selling price. Then in that case, the formula would be 100 plus profit percent by 100 into CP. Okay, this is in case the profit is earned. But what about the case wherein you are losing some money out of it? Then the formula will become SP minus 100. SP is equal to 100 minus loss by 100, loss percentage by 100 into CP. Now, CP, that means a cost price as well. If at all the question is asking you to find the cost price, then go for this formula which says, and that too in case of profit. Um, the formula is CP is equal to, that means cost price is equal to 100 by 100 plus profit percentage into SP. Okay, now it is here cost price for loss. Cost price for loss would be cost price is equal to 100 by 100 minus loss percentage into selling price. So always remember, your cost price will never leave the formula, wherein selling price can leave the formula. Okay. So it is just based on both of them. Now, just to mind some facts, profit and loss are always calculated on the cost price unless and until stated in the question. If an article is sold at a gain of 45%, then SP is equal to 145% of CP. If an article is sold at 25% loss, then SP would be 75% of CP, wherein I would have taken you through the formulas, but I chose to keep it so simple because we can just put down the formulas and we can find out the answer. So let's get on to the questions which are a bit trickier and maybe at times they get difficult to solve. Okay, so yeah, here are the questions. Number one says a vendor sells apples at rupees 10 for rupees 1. Sorry, a vendor sells apple at 10 for rupees 1, gaining 40%. How many apples did he buy for rupees 1? Okay, so let's just get ahead with this question and let us start with something which is not so different, but yeah, it may lead you to some different uh, techniques to solving the question. Okay, let us write what is given in the question first. SP given is selling price of 10 apples, which is equal to rupees 1. Gain is equal to 40%. Okay. Now we have to find how many apples have he bought for rupees 1. Okay, so let's get on to this. So now I'll just put down some equations over here. I'll just put down some formulas over here. So let's just, okay. CP is equal to CP of 10 apples is equal to 1 into 100 by 140. 100 by 140. From what place is 140 has came? So from this formula, okay, CP is equal to 100 by 100 plus 40%. Okay, so this was the thing. Now, in case we are here, so let's just get into this. And what is this one? Because this is the selling price of that one apple. Okay, this is the selling price of that one apple, which we were supposed to consider here at this side, but we are considering it at first. Okay, so how much did we get? Okay, how much did we get out of this? So this would be equal to rupees 5 by 7. Okay, why 5 by 7? If you'll ask me, then the reason behind it is 100 is the fifth multiple of 20, and this is the seventh multiple of 140. Okay, sorry, 140 is the seventh multiple of 20. So now see, what I was supposed to tell you is rupees uh, 5 by 7 for 10 apples. Okay. Cost price is 5 by 7 rupees for 10 apples. Okay. So we have to keep that in mind. Okay. Now, just to get one apple's cost price for one apple, that would be, sorry, cost price for 10 apples, how much would it be? So look at this. Rupees 1 will yield 10. And into 7 by 5. 7 by 5, inverse of it. Okay, because we are like, look at this, these are for 10 apples, so we have to find out how much rupees would be for one, sorry, how many apples for 1 rupees. So this would become 14 apples. Okay, this would become 14 apples. So yeah, that's the answer. Okay, so now what have we done here? We were having the selling price of 10 apples, which was rupees 1, and gain was of rupees 40, sorry, 40%. Now CP of 10 apples would be 1 and 200 by 140, wherein we have kept this formula over there. Okay, now this would become rupees 5 by 7 for 10 apples. Okay, now we have to find how many apples did we bought for rupees 1. So what did we do? 10 apples, and this was the cost price. So we have inverted this cost price, and we got that there are number of 14 number of apples which one has bought or the vendor has bought for rupees 1. Okay, now let's move a little more ahead with some other examples. Now here is a question which says a grocer buys 160 kg of rice at rupees 27 per kg and mixes it with 240 kgs of rice available at 32 per kg, rupees 32. Now, at what rate per kg should he sell the mixture to gain 20% on the whole? Okay, now look at this. 160 kg plus 240 kg will give me answer as 400 kgs of total weight. Total weight would be 400 kgs. Okay, so now look at this. CP of 400 kg rice would be 160 kg at rupees 27 plus 240 at rupees 32. So 240 into 32, which will give me answer as 12,000 rupees. Okay, so the cost price of 400 kgs would be 12,000 rupees. So here, what has become now? CP is equal to rupees 12,000. So I'll just copy this down and we'll just paste it below. Okay, and again they have said is 20%. Okay, so now we just can put the formula and find out how much at what rate selling price we can find out. So the formula for selling price would be, I'll be inserting an equation again. So I'll be just putting down the formula which is equal to this 100 plus profit by 100 into CP. Okay, so now it is here 100 plus profit, that means 120. 100 plus profit would be 120 by 100. And it is multiplied with 12,000. Okay, so how much would this be? This would become 14,400 rupees. 14,400 rupees. Okay, so just copy this thing down and stick it here. Okay, so this is the amount which one should pay. I mean, this is the selling price of it. Now, selling price per kg. Per kgs we have to find, because at what rate. So let's get on to this thing again. SP per kg would be equal to 14,400 divided by 400, because that much amount of rice we are having. So this will become 14,400 by 36. Okay, 4. So that would become rupees 36. Okay, so here it is. All right. So we are done with this question as well. Now a grocer should sell it for rupees 36 to gain the 20% of profit on 400 kgs of rice. Now let's move to the next question, which says a man purchased a certain number of apples at rupees 3. Okay, at 3 per rupee. And the same number of apples at 4 per rupees. Okay. He mixes them together and sells them at rupees 3, sorry, at 3 per rupee. So what is his gain or loss percentage? That means he has bought some number of apples. Now he is selling those apples. That means 3 apple for rupees 1 and 4 apple for rupees 1. And what happened later is he mixed all of them together, and he kept selling it 3 apples for rupees 1. Okay, so now what would be his gain or loss percentage? Now let's see. Okay, so I'll be just writing this everything down quickly. CP for one apple at rupees, uh, sorry, for first rate. Okay, first rate matlab the one which is there. 3 apples for rupees 1. So this will become rupees 1 by 3. Okay, so this will become rupees 1 by 3. Okay, now let's move to next thing. Now, another thing wherein the rate would be, now in another case, the rate would be 1 by 4. Okay, so I'll just CP for one apple for second rate. It would be rupees 1 by 4. Okay, now the next. Now, what would be the cost price of both apples when they are mixing up? So let's find out that too. CP of both after mixing. This would become 1 by 3 plus 1 by 4. Plus 1 by 4. So now this will give me answer as 7 by 12. Rupees 7 by 12. Okay. Okay. Now this is the CP for both of the apples after mixing them up. Now the one, rather I would write both. I would write 2 here because CP of both the apples. So now that's the way of solving this. Now another thing is key. there is CP for one apple we have to find now. After getting this one, we will be finding CP for one apple after mixing. This would become this would become 7 by 12 into half of it. Okay, or rather I would write it directly here. Okay, so this would become, which is equal to 7 by 24. So just put down this and this would become, okay, so this is the amount which one has to pay for one apple, the one uh, which is there after mixing them up. Okay, so now let's move on to another slide and let's find out what exactly would be there. Okay, now as in, what has mentioned over there, that he has to sell three apples again for rupees 1. So here SP of rupees 1 would be, this would become SP for one apple after mixing. This would become rupees, sorry, 1 by 3. Okay, because he is selling three apples for rupees 1. Now, uh, now we have to find the gain, how much gain they have got. So here is the another thing, that is gain is equal to SP minus CP, which is equal to 1 by 3 minus 7 by 24. 1 by 3, here it would be minus 7 by 24. How much would this be? So this would become 24, 8 minus 7 by 24. So this would become 1 by 24. Okay, this is 1 by 24. Now we have to find how much gain percentage is there. So let's put on the formula for gain percentage and just find out the answer. Okay, so this would become gain percentage is equal to gain by CP into 100. Okay, so I'll just put down one thing and we'll get this thing. Let's get this things done. So this would become, gain is this much. Now cost price. For cost price, I'll be putting directly, that is 24 by 7. I won't be putting it down as 7 by 24. Now it is here and the another would be this much. Okay, now we have to multiply it with the hundreds. So it's here. Okay, just to get the gain percentage out of it. So, okay. Now, okay. So another thing is this would become, okay, 100 by 7. This 24s and 24s will get cancelled off. So gain percentage would be equal to 100 by 7. Okay, 100 by 7%, which is nothing but 14 2 by 7, and this would be percentage. Okay, so this is the answer for this question. So here is the answer, and this is how we are supposed to find this. Okay, so yeah, that's it. Now let's move a little more ahead with some other example. Here is the example which says a man sells two radios for rupees 2000 each. One he gains at 16%. On one he gains 16%, and uh, on the other he loses 16%. So find the gain or the loss percentage in the whole transaction. Now, here wherein he is incurring a loss, and even he's earning the profit also. So for that matter, there is a formula which is called as, here, remember one thing: when there is a loss and one there is another gain, then the transaction would be always based on the losses. Okay, transaction will never be based on something which is not there. Okay, there won't be any profit, because he's after, even after gaining something, he is losing the same percentage. That means he is again neither gaining nor losing something. So for that reason, this would be a loss. Okay, now loss percentage is equal to, I'll just put down the formula, and this is, okay, now this would be a by 10. Sorry. Okay, rather I would put here. Okay, so this would become, so I'll just write down this two over here and making this as a, what is it? This is a complete square out of it. Okay, now look at this. If I'll put this formula down, so my loss percentage, that means A would be this much, 16%. Because no matter how much he's spending or how much he's uh, earning, but the percentage loss would be 16 percentage. So this would become, loss is equal to, just a moment. Loss is equal to, I would directly write, I would be writing directly, this would be 100 and this would be 256, as is the square of 16, which is equal to 2.56. Okay, 2.56%. Here I'll be writing one more thing, which is, here A is equal to 16 percentage. Okay, now you can just consider this one. Okay, now let's move a little more ahead and look at this one. That was the direct formula for loss, and you have to keep it that way only. Okay, now look at this. A medical store owner purchased medicines for rupees 6,000 from a company. He sold one third part of the medicine at 30% of loss, on which he gains, on which gain he should sell the rest of his medicines so that he will have neither gain nor loss. So let's see. Okay. Uh, here I would be taking A, that means a part of medicines, okay, or rather X is equal to 1 by 3. Okay, 1 by 3. Now, here A would be 30%. Okay, here A would be 30%. Is given. Okay, now let's see one more thing wherein he need to get neither gain nor loss. So, required gain or loss percentage is equal to, here is the formula. Okay, I'll be writing the formula specifically. And required gain percentage is equal to, now the formula is AX by 1 minus A percent. That's it. This is the formula. Okay, now let's get on to this and try solving these things off. Okay, so let's put everything in the formula. Now we are having A and X also. Gain, gain or loss percent is equal to AX. That means this would become, here it would be 1 by 3 into 30. Okay, now here it is 1 minus A. 1 minus, so this is 1 minus X. Okay, so this would become 1 minus 1 by 3. Now here it would give me answer as 10 10 into 3 by 2. 10 into 3 by 2. Okay, so this is nothing but 30 by 2, matlab 15 percentage. So 15% is the gain or loss. Okay, so gain or loss here would be 15%. That's it. Now next, here, a person sold the table at a profit of 6.5%. Now, if he had sold it for 1250 more, he would have gained 19% of profit. So find the CP of the table. Now, see. Okay. It is clearly stated that he has previously he has sold it for 6.5%. So I'll be just writing 6 into 1 by 2 percent profit plus 1,250, which will give me answer as 19% profit. Okay, now this is the answer. Okay, here it is. Look at this. 1250 is equal to 19 minus 6 into 1 by 2. Okay, 6 into 1 by 2. Or rather, I would be writing 6 into 1 by 2 as 13 by 2% of cost price. Okay, so now it would be C. As when I was telling you, sorry, I was telling you that the profit, be it a profit or be it a loss, you'll always be calculating it on the cost price, so that we are calculating it here on the cost price. Now, one more thing. Now, as in, let's just find out, try solving this one. 1250 is equal to 38 minus 13 whole divided by 2 will give me answer as 25 by 2. 25 by 2, which is nothing but this would be, okay, so this would become 1 by 8 of CP. How? I've multiplied this 2 with 1250 and divided to it with 25. So this would become 1 by 8 of CP. Now, as in this was the percentage, okay, this was the percentage, and that's not in percentage thing. So now CP would be 1250 into 8, which will give me answer as 10,000 rupees. So cost price of it would be 10,000 rupees. Okay, now let's move a little more ahead and find out another way. Okay, so another way of finding this out is A. Here A would be 6.5 percentage, 6 into 1 by 2 percentage, and B, this would become 19%. Okay, now as in we have kept A and B as percentage, there is a formula. So now CP would be equal to CP of whatever would be equal to R. R means the required amount. R is equal to 1250. Okay. R by B minus A. The same we have done here. Okay. The same we have done here in 200. This will give you answer of your uh, this thing. This will give you the straight answer of this entire question. Okay. So if at all I'll be going through this formula, this will become 1250 by B minus A. That means this much. So 25 by 2. I'll get 25 by 2, which is equal to 1250 into 2 divided by 25. Sorry, here it was multiplied with 100 as well. So let me just put 100 over here. into 100. Do not forget to multiply because that may lead you to the wrong answers. Do check what is given in the question because if at all you are missing something out, that means you are getting the wrong answer. So focus on to what you are solving. Okay. Here, if I've multiplied with 100, then I will be getting answer as rupees 10,000. Straight answer is 10,000 rupees. So that's what we have done, and so far we have came this way only. Okay, now let's move to the another question which says if the cost price of 20 article is equal to the selling price of 18 articles, then find the profit percentage. CP of 20 articles is equal to selling price of 10 articles. Here there is another formula is there, but before that let us try solving it with this way. Sorry. Let the CP of one article is X. Now CP of 20 article would be 20x. And SP of 18 articles would be 20x. Why? Because it has said no 20 cost price of 20 articles is equal to the selling price of 18 articles. So we have made this thing. Okay. Now one thing which will come from here, SP of one article. Okay, SP of one article would be, how much would it be? So it would be 20x by 18. So now this would become 10 by 9x. Okay, so become 10 by 9x. Now profit. Let's find gain. How much gain was it there? So SP minus CP, which is equal to 10 by 9 x minus x. This would become x by 9. Why x by 9 and how x by 9 is just because cross multiplication we have done. Now gain percentage is equal to profit. That was x by 9 divided by CP. CP was x into 100, which is equal to 100 by 9. And simply it is equal to 11 into 1 by 9 percentage. Okay, so this is the way of solving these kind of stuff. But now there is a required formula. There is a formula, direct formula, which is gain percentage is equal to insert equation. It would become A minus B by B into 100%. This is the only formula. Now A minus B. What is A here? Okay. A is equal to A is equal to 20 and B is equal to 18. That's it. So you can just put down the formula and find out the answer. 20 minus 18 by B. That means 20 minus 18 by 18. So 2 by 18 into 100. 2 by 18, that means this will again give you answer as the same. 100 by 9. 2 by 18. So that's why 100 by 9 you'll get answer, and the answer is 11 by 11 into 1 by 9. Okay, now look at this. Current purchases 10 orange. Current purchases 10 orange for rupees 25 and sells for 20 sells 9 oranges for rupees 25. So find the gain percentage. Here I'll directly tell you the direct approach. Okay, direct formula. Why? Because we have just solved this kind of thing, and like you can go with uh, this approach as well, or I'll just tell you the direct formula for this one. Okay, now the formula for profit percent, as in this would be equal to my minus nx by nx. Okay, so here what is my, what is nx, I'll tell you. Okay. M is equal to 10 oranges. 10 oranges. And X is equal to rupees 25. CP for 10 oranges, which is equal to rupees 25. Now, N. N is equal to 9 oranges. 9 oranges, and Y is equal to CP for 9 oranges, which is nothing but rupees 25 again. Okay, so now let's get on to the formula and find out. Is equal to M into Y, 250 minus NX, 9 into 25. This would be 225 divided by 225 into 100%, which would be equal to 25 divided by 225 into 100. This will again give you 100 by 9 as the answer, which is nothing but 11 into 1 by 9 percentage. You can go by both of the formulas. Okay, so yeah, that's it. Now let's move on to the next question. This one. Look at this. This question says Nikun sold a machine to Sonia. Nikun sold a machine to Sonia at a profit of 30%. Sonia sold this machine to Anu at a loss of 20%. If Nikun has paid rupees 5,000 for this machine, so find the cost price of the machine for for Anu. Now Nikunj CP for Nikunj is given is 5,000. Okay, and profit earned by Nikunj is equal to 30%. Okay, so now let's find out the selling price, which is ultimately the cost price for Anu. sorry, which is ultimately the cost price for Sonia. Okay, so this would become 130 into 5,000 divided by 100, which is equal to 6500 rupees. Okay, now this is the cost price for Sonia. So rather I would write just, okay. Now it is done. 6,500 is done, which is the cost price for Sonia. Now the next thing is, now whichever whichever is the cost price for Sonia, she has incurred some loss which is of 20%. Look at this. Now what we are supposed to do? Selling price would be CP for Anu, because uh, she has bought it. So this would become how much? So 80% of cost price. 80% of cost price means, sorry, 20% of cost price means 80 into 6,500 divided by 100, which is nothing but rupees 5,200. So this is the cost price for Anu. That's it. That is it. This is how you'll be finding. Now the next one. A dishonest dealer professes to sell his good at cost price, but he uses a false weight of rupees of 930 gram instead of 1 kg weight. So find the gain percentage. Now here are some formulas which are based on the gain. Sorry, uh, false weights. Okay. So the first formula is gain percentage is equal to, this would be error. What is error? I'll tell you. Okay. This would be error. Error by true value minus error into 100. Now, what is error? Error means the actual weight and the weight which he has put across. So that's the thing. Now, just a moment. Just a moment. Now, sorry, this error is equal to true value minus false weight. Okay. Minus false weight. Okay, now this is done. And another formula for the same is, rather, I would write this. True weight minus false weight. Then another formula which is there is this. Gain percentage is equal to true weight minus false weight sorry by false weight, which is not which is multiplied further with 100 percentage, of course. Now here it is percentage also. Here also it was percentage only. Okay, so now if at all I'll be putting down the formula, this will become any of the formulas. So the gain percentage will be true weight was 1 kg, that means 1000 gram minus 1000 minus 930 divided by 930 into 100. I'm going through this formula. I'm just putting down the formula and finding out the answer. Okay, now this would become 70 by 930, which is equal to 7 into, sorry, 749 by 93. Okay, so this is the answer. That is percentage. Okay, yeah, that's the thing. Now you can put any of the formulas over here, and you'll get the answer as the same. Okay, now let's move to another question, which says a dealer sales is good at 6% loss, and the cost price uh, at the six sorry dealer sells his goods at 6% loss on cost price, but uses 14 gram instead of 16 gram. So what is his profit percentage or loss? Now let's move here. This would become, I'll just put down the formula. There is a direct formula for this thing, which is required gain or loss percent is equal to 100 minus A. 100 minus A, C by B. What is C and what is B and everything I'll tell. Minus 100%. This is the formula. Now let's see. A is equal to this loss 6%. 6%. B is equal to the false weight and the right weight. So this would become 14 gram, and C is equal to 16 gram. Now let's just put into the formula, which is equal to 100 minus 6, that means 94, into C by B. C is 16 by 14. minus 100. Now here there is one more thing, which is equal to 94 into 8 by 7. Why 8 by 7 is because no, I mean, it's just the fraction, which is the least fraction comes out of it, which is now equal to, here it would become cross multiplication. So this would become 752 minus 700 divided by 7, which is now equal to 52 divided by 7. Here it will be percentage. And this will further get divided into 7 into 3 by 7. 7 into 3 by percent, 7%. Okay, now that's it. This is the formula, and direct formula was there, so I have just kept the direct formula. Okay, now let's get on to the another example. This says a dealer sells his good at 20% of loss on cost price but uses 40% less weight. So, what is his profit percentage or loss percentage? Now, as in one more thing, I'll tell that there is a direct formula. I'll give the direct formula first and then I'll tell you. Again, required gain or profit, gain or loss is equal to B plus minus A divided by 100 minus B. That's it. This is the formula. What is B and what is A? So B here would be 40%. A A is equal to 20%. And that's it. Now, in case plus or minus, from where this plus or minus came up. So see, if you feel there is a profit, if profit then plus, and if loss then minus. Okay, you have to keep this thing in mind. Okay, now as in he was getting loss, so we will be using minus. Okay, so our formula will become B. B was 40 minus 20 by 80. Sorry, really sorry. 100 minus 60, which is multiplied with 100. Now enter, which is equal to 20 by 60 into here 100 by 3, which is equal to now 33 into 1 by 3%. That's it. Now look at this one. If the 2/3 of part of an article is sold at 30% of profit, sorry, this was the only answer. Okay, now look at this one. If the 2/3 of part of an article is sold at 30% of profit and 1/4 part of a 16% profit and remaining part at 12% of profit, and finally there is a profit of rupees 75. So find the cost price of the entire article. Okay, of the article. So now, okay, A, let me take A as 30%. as 16% and C as 12%. Okay. And now X is equal to 2 by 3, 2/3 of part. Y is equal to 1 by 4. And Z is equal to how much? So that would become 1 minus 2 by 3 minus 1 by 4. This will give me answer as 1 by 12. Okay, Z is equal to 1 by 12 because this is the entire article. Now 2/3 of the same 2/3 part of that article, and this is 1/4 of the part, and the remaining part is of 1 and a half 1/12th part. 1 by 12th part would be there. Okay, so that's it. Now let's see. Here there is again a direct formula. CP for the entire article is equal to, I'll put down the equation, and equation is here. R. Now here R is rupees 75. I forgot to put it down, but I'll be putting it down here now. R is equal to 75 rupees. Okay, now look at this. R minus, sorry, R into 100 and AX plus BY plus CZ. Okay, so let's just add all of them together and let's just try finding out the answer. Now it would become here R is 75 into 100 divided by AX, 30 into 1 by 3, 30 into 2 by 3. So 30 into 2 by 3, I'll straight write 20 plus 16 into 1 by 4. 16 into 1 by 4 would be 4 plus 12 into 1 by 12. So this will become 1. So this is 75 and 7500 divided by 25, which is equal to now 300 rupees. Okay, so here the answer is 300 rupees. 300 rupees is the cost price of that article. Okay, so yes, so that was the last question. And what I'll do, I'll just get some examples done for you people, and we'll be sharing it in the Google Classroom so that for you people to practice. Now that's it for the day. Thank you so very much, and that's it. Thank you.